tonight we're talking about, it's snapshot, okay? Or you could say snapshots. But snapshot's kind of like, it's like one. How many of you like to take pictures? Anybody like to take pictures at all? Okay, do you enjoy them? Any of you like to look back at pictures you've taken and remember the things that you did as a part of those snapshots? Anybody? A few people? Anybody, maybe you, when a picture is taken of you, you see it and your first reaction is you want to burn the picture. Anybody? Okay, all right. So all of us, we come at it different ways. My son, Jordan, let's go to the next slide. My son, Jordan, he absolutely loves to take snapshots. In fact, he's been asking for a very long time if he could have a camera. And every time we pull out the cameras, he wants to use the camera and take pictures. Can I let you know a little secret? Okay, quiet. Okay, you can't let this outside the room. We bought Jordan a camera for Christmas this year, okay? So we're excited about that. And part of the reason that he likes taking pictures is because I like taking pictures. Whether it's a video camera, or it's a phone with a camera in it, or it's an actual camera, I like to have snapshots of life wherever we go. Can I borrow this real quick? I want to get a snapshot. Thank you. While I'm here, I want to get a snapshot of you guys. Okay, everybody, look at me. Look at me. Can everybody see me? Oh no, over here. Over here. Let me see. Let's get over here. There you go. Everybody, get in. Squeeze tight. Oh, I got you all perfect. Okay, we all like to take different snapshots at different times. And so this is a snapshot of Jordan, and this was taken at one of the most wonderful places on earth, and it was the carousel at Disneyland, okay? This was the carousel at Disneyland. So we went, and we took some pictures while we were there at Disneyland. The reason we went was to say to Jordan, Jordan, in honor of you on your 5th birthday, because we love you, we want to do something special that says you are such a wonderful part of our family. And so we want to take you to Disneyland. So this is in honor of you. So we took him to Disneyland. This next picture is a picture that Christina took when she got into Disneyland. It's a picture of a Christmas tree. We actually got to be there during the time where they did a changeover from fall to Christmas. And so like the whole place was Christmas. And so, it's kind of interesting how this worked out. Jordan's 5th birthday was in January, but we went in November. Why? So we could be at Disneyland for Christmas. Anyways, it was a great time. We were there together for a couple days. This is on what's this ride called? Anybody remember what it's called? You get on the riverboat and like that ride. What's it called?
Hippos in there and stuff?
Yeah, it's the Hippos.
Yeah. And that's like next to the Tarzan ride.
Have you been on the ride before? Anybody? Raise your hand. Yes. Okay. Anyways, that was a ride that we had. We had a great time. So those are a couple snapshots from our time at Disneyland. Honestly, we probably took about 450, 500 pictures. But with video, we probably took tens of thousands because like video takes like 30 pictures per second, 30 snapshots per second. Let's go to the next slide. Let's see what's there. This was a great snapshot from a little over a year ago where Christine and I, we had the opportunity to go to El Salvador on a mission trip. Who went to El Salvador with us? Anybody here? Anybody go to El Salvador with us in the room? Nobody in the room went to El Salvador. I'm so surprised. Wow, we had a great time. We had a great team. But this is a wonderful thing for us. And so I look at this picture because it's kind of a memory. It's kind of something I can remember that we did together that's really special. All right. Any of you have like a picture in your room that's like a memory of something that was really special for you at all? Anybody? Nobody? Only like 5 of you? Okay. All right. Okay. Next picture. Now this was really cool. This was this year. Sam and I, we got to go to Honduras, and we had a wonderful time. Can you go to the next slide? This was really cool going to Honduras together. You see in his hand, he has a giant locust. So hold your hand out, like the palm of your hand like this. Imagine an insect that covers the entire palm of your hand. That is what he is holding in his hand, all right? It's a giant locust. It was really great to go. We had a good time, lots of wonderful things. Some people said it was dangerous to go there because of the military conflict that was going on while we were there. But I want Samuel to live in a way where he's not afraid of the conflict that the world has because he understands as long as he listens to Jesus, as long as he's led by the Spirit, no matter what he does, he's in God's will. God's got him in control. That doesn't mean he's not going to be free from harm or anything like that. But I want him to be able to live a life that's not afraid of being in danger. So we had a great time there. This was a moment that was a little bit tough a little bit later because he was bigger than all of the kids at this school we're at, but he was actually younger. So taller but younger than these kids. And just a few minutes after I took this picture, he came, ran and found me, and with tears running down his eyes, he said, "Dad, they made fun of me. They made fun of me." And so there was this moment where there was a language barrier thing. He fell down, he got his knee all bloody, and all the kids, like 35 kids around him, were laughing at him. And so this is kind of a reminder to me. It's a snapshot to me to remind me that Sam is still a child. Sometimes with my first son, I treat him like he's an adult. I treat him like he's a grown man. And this reminds me, wait, he's still a child. He's still tender. He's still young. And so this reminds me of that on an ongoing basis. I've honestly had, the last year of my life has been like whirlwind. I've got to do some amazing, amazing things. One of the things that I got to do with the next slide is this. I got to go to Swaziland, a little landlocked country in South Africa. How many remember me going to Swaziland? I had a fantastic time in Swaziland. I was really impacted. I was really impacted by that. Let's go to the next slide. This is actually a slide that a friend of mine, Cubby, who's a professional photographer, he was in Swaziland just like 3 weeks before I was there. No, like 6 weeks before I was there. And he took these remarkable photos and said, I can use them for whatever I want to tell the story of what's going on around the world and people's needs. All right? Let's go to the next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So leave it there. Leave it there. Leave it there. So those are all those snapshots. One of the things that has happened in the last year of my life is this. I did this. I went to El Salvador twice. I went to Honduras twice. I went to Mexico. I live in the United States. I went to Canada. I went to South Africa. I went to Swaziland. I've taken a couple master's level classes. And in the middle of all of that, my life, I love it. It's been awesome. It's been like, wow, what a dream. But in the middle of that, one of the worst things that I've experienced in my life happened. Just before I left for Honduras, when my friend Pat was on a missions trip to the Dominican Republic, and he dove in the river, he hit his head, and he became paralyzed. And so in the middle of being busy with my master's, being busy with going on trips, busy on trying to lead the mission here and lead a heart for missions elsewhere, this happened to my friend. I was like, how do I handle a busy, busy life where I have all these things going on, but now I have a friend. I have a friend I love deeply who's in the hospital. And so in the middle of all this busyness, I would put the kids to bed at night. I would say goodnight to Christina, and I would drive her to the hospital about 9 o'clock. Night after night after night after night. And I would shave my friend's face. I would wash his hair. There was nothing the man could do without help. And I would help him with a lot of that in the middle of the busyness. Going back to Africa. When I came home from Africa, I was tired. I had been in the airport for, at one time, 9 hours in South Africa, and at one time, 11 hours in Atlanta. And it was just like terrible. It was like so much. And so I had this massive jet lag. But when I got home and the jet lag ended, something very special happened to me. Something very special happened to me when I stopped the busyness and I found a place to rest. I want to look at the Bible real quick. If you have your Bible, there's a story in Luke. It's in Luke chapter 10. And I'm going to turn there real quick. And it's a story of Jesus. He's basically on the road with his disciples, and he goes into a specific town where a couple ladies live, and he gets invited into their house. It's the story of Mary and Martha. Luke chapter 10, verses 38 through 40. It says this. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister named Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, Lord, don't you care that my sister's left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken from her. So basically, here's the story. Jesus enters the house. He walks into the house. People sit down. There's food that's being eaten all around. Mary has decided she's going to sit at Jesus' feet. Martha has decided that she is going to be busy. And Martha decides, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to go to Jesus and tell him, Jesus, can you tell Mary to help me? And Jesus says, you know what? Mary has chosen what's better. And what was better? To sit and to listen at Jesus' feet.